You weren't supposed to hear this, but the gold crash you're watching right now isn't just a price drop. It's a signal, a silent message from a system that moves trillions in the dark while the public stares at headlines like they're looking at the truth. Because what if I told you? The fall in gold isn't panic, it's positioning, it's a transfer, and the next move is going to shock almost everyone. If you want real financial truths they don't teach, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what's coming. Because what we're about to uncover is bigger than gold. It's about power, control, and the invisible games being played over your future. Right now, people are asking the same question. Is gold crashing forever, or is this the moment before something massive? Experts argue on TV, analysts draw lines, retail investors panic sell. But here's what no one wants to admit. Gold doesn't move like a normal asset. Gold is not just a metal. Gold is a weapon. And when gold falls hard, it's rarely because the world suddenly stopped valuing it. It falls because someone wants it to fall. Because the market you see isn't the real market. It's a stage, a psychological battlefield. Most people think gold is crashing because of interest rates, inflation numbers, or a strong dollar. That's the story they hand you, clean, simple, digestible, a bedtime story for the masses. But underneath that story, something else is happening. A liquidity cycle, a silent wealth transfer, a trap. See, the elites don't buy when the world feels safe. They buy when the world feels hopeless. They accumulate when you're exhausted. And they love moments like this, when headlines scream, gold is dead, and retail investors dump their positions like they're throwing away poison, because fear is the greatest tool ever invented for moving wealth upward. Let me explain something that changes everything. Markets do not exist to reward the emotional. They exist to harvest them. Gold isn't crashing because it's weak. Gold is crashing because it's being shaken, like a tree, violently, so the weak fruit falls off first. And once the weak are gone, the real move begins. This is where the story gets dangerous, because most people have been trained to think price equals truth. Gold down means gold is bad. Gold up means gold is good. But that's child-level thinking in an adult world of manipulation. Price is not truth. Price is narrative. Price is psychology. Price is control. The system doesn't just move markets, it moves minds. And right now the minds of millions are being pushed into the same emotional corner. Panic, confusion, capitulation. That's the word professionals use. Capitulation is the moment the crowd finally breaks, not because the asset is worthless, but because their nervous system can't take it anymore. They don't sell because it makes sense, they sell because they can't sleep. And who buys when you can't sleep? The same institutions you think are predicting gold's next move. They're not predicting, they're engineering. Here's the hidden truth. The gold market is not a free market, it's one of the most controlled arenas on earth. Paper gold is traded in volumes that dwarf real physical gold. The price you see is often based on contracts. Not bars, not vaults, not reality. It's like trading the idea of gold instead of the gold itself. And when you control the paper, you control perception. And when you control perception, you control people. So when gold suddenly drops, ask yourself, did the world change overnight? Or did liquidity just get pulled? Because liquidity is the bloodstream of markets, and the elites don't just watch liquidity, they direct it. They move it from one place to another like generals shifting troops. And right now, liquidity is being drained from the emotional crowd and absorbed by silent hands. This is Story Beat 1. The hidden truth most investors never realize: gold doesn't crash randomly. It crashes at specific moments, before resets, before repricing, before accumulation phases. Think about it. Every major wealth cycle begins with pain, not pleasure. Pain is the entry fee to the next level. The public buys tops because media makes it feel safe. Institutions buy bottoms because silence makes it feel terrifying. And here's the cliffhanger. Gold isn't the only thing being moved right now. Crypto whales are watching. Central banks are watching. Institutional money is rotating. And the next move ties all of it together, because gold doesn't fall alone. It falls as part of a larger chessboard. Now let's go deeper. Story Beat 2. People think the big players care about gold's value. No, they care about gold's timing. They care about what gold represents. Gold is the oldest form of real money. And real money is dangerous to a system built on paper promises. Look around. Debt everywhere. Currencies being printed into oblivion. Inflation slowly eating the purchasing power of every paycheck. A silent robbery. That's currency debasement. They don't steal from you with guns, they steal with numbers. And gold is the mirror that reveals that theft. Which is why gold must be psychologically controlled. Because if gold rises too fast, it exposes the lie. It tells the world the currency is rotting, so the system manages gold like a pressure valve. Sometimes they let it rise just enough, then they smash it, to remind the crowd who's in control. And while you're focused on price, they're focused on positioning. This is where institutional accumulation comes in. Accumulation is quiet, it's boring, it's invisible. It happens when the crowd stops caring. The elites don't announce buys, They don't tweet excitement. They enter through darkness. And when gold is crashing, media does something predictable. They amplify fear. They bring out analysts saying it's over. They create a narrative of collapse, not because it's true, but because they need you gone, because your fear is their liquidity. Your selling is their entry. And that's the psychological trap. Retail investors think they're making decisions, but they're being guided like cattle through emotional gates. Fear gate, greed gate, FOMO gate, panic gate, and whales. They know exactly where those gates are. Crypto whales do the same thing. They drop price fast, trigger liquidations, wipe out leverage, then buy the blood. Gold is older, but the game is identical. It's not finance, it's psychological warfare. The disciplined win, the emotional lose. Now here comes the twist, the climax. The thing most people will not accept until it's too late. Gold crashing right now may be the signal that something else is coming. Because elites don't smash gold randomly. They do it before major repositioning events, before geopolitical escalations, before currency shifts, before liquidity resets. Ask yourself, why are central banks still buying gold at record levels in recent years? Why are they accumulating while the public debates whether gold is dead? Central banks aren't emotional. They're not day traders. They're not influenced by TikTok. They buy gold because they know something. Gold is not an investment to them. It's insurance against the entire system. So if gold is crashing and central banks are accumulating, what does that tell you? It tells you price is not reality. It's opportunity. It's a shakeout. And the next move could be a repricing cycle. Asset repricing is when the world suddenly realizes something was undervalued. It happens fast, violently, like a spring snapping back. And gold is a spring, compressed for years by paper manipulation, narratives, and suppression. So the question isn't just, will gold go back up? The question is, what happens when it does? Because when gold finally moves, it usually means the currency narrative is breaking. It means trust is cracking. And that's why this matters now more than ever. We are entering an era of silent resets, not one dramatic collapse, but gradual shifts, banking stress, debt explosions, currency decay, and elites positioning quietly before the crowd understands. Gold is part of that positioning. Crypto is part of it too. Bitcoin was born from distrust. Gold was born from reality. Both are outside the system. And when the system feels threatened, it attacks both psychologically. Bitcoin crashes, gold crashes, retail panics, and institutions accumulate silent wealth transfers again and again and again. This is the hidden loop. Now, resolution. What's the elite lesson here? Stop watching the market like a gambler. Start watching it like a battlefield. Every crash is not a collapse. Some crashes are traps. Some drops are engineered liquidity events. The crowd thinks the price is falling because something is wrong with gold. The elite knows the price is falling because something is wrong with money. That's the difference. Real value versus fake money. Gold doesn't default. Gold doesn't get printed. Gold doesn't lie. Currencies do. And the media is not there to inform you. It's there to synchronize emotions. So millions feel the same fear at the same time. So they sell at the same time. So liquidity flows upward. That's narrative engineering. That's control. And the human mind, that's the real battlefield. If you can control perception, you can control markets. If you can control emotion, you can control wealth transfers. So what's the outlook? Experts will give you charts. I'll give you the truth. Gold may continue to crash short term because the shakeout isn't finished. Weak hands still need to break. Liquidity still needs to be harvested. But the deeper outlook, gold is being positioned, not abandoned. The next big move will not be announced. It will erupt. And most people will only realize after it's too late that the crash was the entry, not the end. So here's the unforgettable warning. Do not be emotionally programmed by the system. Do not let fear decide your financial reality, because the elite game is simple. They buy your panic. They sell you euphoria. They accumulate in silence, and they let the crowd scream later. Gold is not just a chart. It's a signal, a confession, a shadow of what's coming. And if you've made it this far, you already feel it. This knowledge feels illegal because it upgrades your mind, and an upgraded mind is harder to control. So here's my question for you. Do you think this gold crash is the end or the setup before something massive? Drop your answer in the comments and send this to someone who needs to hear it, because most people are sleepwalking through financial history and they don't even know it. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay close. The next move is coming, and when it hits, you'll want to say you saw it before the world woke up.